continuing their quest to three-peat after beating the Texans 23-14. Patrick Mahomes capped the night off with a highlight touchdown pass to Travis Kelce while moving to 7-0 in the divisional round. But questionable penalty calls also helped doom the Texans, and they spoke on that post-game.
We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, it's everybody, all of whatever. Everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody.
Everybody know how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the refs' hands. But I mean, the whole world see, man, like what it is.
We knew it was going to be us against the refs going into this game.
All right, we always hear that in boxing. Never leave it in the hands of the judges, right? Finish the fight. S.A., do you feel like the Texans have a legit gripe that Mahomes and the Chiefs get all the calls?
Respectfully, I do feel they have a case. That wasn't a targeted hit on Patrick Mahomes. Come on, man.
He went down late anyway.
And he went down late and what have you. That was a ridiculous call against Will Anderson. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. And it's uncomfortable, but we're going to say it. This first take here. You know, we're going to bring up the popularity of Patrick Mahomes because of his greatness. We're going to bring up the fact that he has box office appeal. We're going to bring up the fact that Taylor Swift, being a Chiefs fan, you understand, and a lady for Travis Kelce, don't hurt. We're going to bring all of that up. Now, that's not to say the officials go out there and are intentionally doing this stuff, but it ain't like an audience for the opposition especially doesn't have a reason to look at some of those things and say, what the hell is going on here? And if you're DeMeco Ryans, you can't say that. If you're one of the players, you can't say that. But ain't nobody finding me for it. Ain't nobody finding y'all for it. I don't know. But I know that had no business being called against Will Anderson.
No,
I know there were several calls that were against the Houston Texans that were highly questionable. And what the Kansas City Chiefs have to respect is that there are people that's going to look at that and say, why is that? Why is that? Because there is Patrick Mahomes fatigue at this point. Because in spite of his greatness, we've seen him look greater, as y'all have both pointed out. And there's certain things that's just getting in the way that's helping the Kansas City Chiefs. Ain't no denying that.
Yeah, I don't think that. But this is what they have been instructed. When in doubt, if somebody hit that quarterback, throw the flag.
Okay.
We'll deal with it later. And we had the same thing with Tom Brady. He gets the call, and he does get the call. They're going to give the better quarterbacks the call. Cam been in that fit. They didn't give you those calls. They didn't give you those calls. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm sorry. They didn't give you those calls.
They didn't protect him either.
Held on. But Tom Brady got called. We remember in that championship game against Kansas City, Chris Jones hit Tom Brady on the shoulder pass, and they said he hit him in the head, and he didn't come anywhere near his head. That shouldn't have been a call on Will Anderson. But those two calls, when they have that call in the game, are we really saying, how about protect your quarterback? Your quarterback did get sacked 8 times. Yep. You went for it on 4th and 10, Cam, and you get a sack and you end up at midfield. Right. I get it. Yeah, there have been some calls, but they've also been calls that they were justified. The Cincinnati call.
Right.
The guy went over the guy's back. It was a penalty.
Right.
In the Super Bowl, Bradford the fourth said, yes, I tugged him. He was getting away from me. I tugged him. Okay. And even though he said that, the fans like, nah, that wasn't no foul. Right. Yes, some of the calls that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are getting, fans are getting tired of Kansas City winning year in and year out. That's what that is.
Right. Well, when you hear a stat that fewer penalties in the last 10 of 11 games, that's a little alarming.
Okay.
When you also see Kansas City penalty yards, 319 yards versus the opponent penalty yards, 541 yards, that's a little alarming. These are not just penalties here. These are difference makers of outcomes of the games. It's happening on 3rd down. This is a personal foul that
kept the ball alive, kept the drive alive.
That's keeping an already good team another opportunity. And just to say it, when you have conversations with people off camera, the NFL already rigged. Let them tell it.
Yes.
Taylor Swift, they keep showing more Taylor Swift than anybody else.
Yes.
Then you got Caitlin Clark with Taylor Swift, and that's even more of a monument. It's like, yo, does the NFL really need Kansas City? Is it good business in that point? But when you see it from that lens, obviously DeMeco Ryans is furious. Obviously the Texans is furious. But when you look at it, it's not just penalties. These are really coming down to deciding factors of an actual game.
And not only that, it was 13-12 at the time.
Yeah.
Right. 13-12 at the time. And then it doesn't help that it's clearly the wrong call. Troy Aikman goes reserve. Oh, come on. I mean, he's a runner. I could not disagree with that one more. He barely gets hit. This is Troy Aikman, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, who has at the quarterback position. He says that. What does the NFL come out and do? The officials made the right call. No, they didn't. It was not the right call. And everybody knows it wasn't the right call. And that's where it becomes a bit problematic.
On the quarterback, I'm telling you, they've been told when in doubt, throw the flag. I'm going to tell you another team that always they had fewer penalties than their opponent. The New England Patriots. Yeah. Is it a surprise that they won like they won? Because they don't beat themselves. Nobody tells you to go out there and jump outside. Nobody tells you to hold. Right. A lot of times we see teams, they shove it. They illegal hands to the face because they're getting frustrated. We saw it last night with Baltimore.
And it didn't get thrown in.
But let me throw this at you, though. Patrick Mahomes runs more in 1 month than Tom Brady did in his career.
He did.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that when we're talking about New England, I don't compare the two. Because Patrick Mahomes, again, like Troy Aikman said, he was a runner. You, even though you should have gotten a lot more calls than you did, you were a runner. Half the time. Matter of fact, I forgave the officials because even opposing defenses looked at you and said, damn, do we want to tackle him? Really? What kind of business decision do we want to make having to tackle this brother? So I get it. Patrick Mahomes is running with the football, though, and you have two Houston Texans players colliding with one another.
But even though he was a runner, once he gives himself up, he still got 15 on his back.
Straight up.
And you can't touch him.
Right.
After that hit, that Trevor Lawrence, they're going to err on the side of caution. You see what happened with
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, with Al Shazier?
Yes.
What he did to Trevor Lawrence, they are going to err on the side of caution. Can you imagine if they'd have knocked Patrick Mahomes out of that game and they'd have lost?
But we are in the age of technology, and you could literally see they didn't hit him.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying
We
is,
can
what
see
does
that.
count?
The naked eye can't see that on the field.
They could have reviewed it.
No, you can't review that.
But that's just one penalty, fellas. Like,
Right.
it's like that wasn't just the thing that came down to it. It's a collective. It's okay. What about a holding call on defense?
Okay.
Only 5 yards, but you get a first down.
Yeah.
Right.
You get more opportunities, and that's my point. I'm saying, yo, it's bigger than just penalties. These are really game impacting or game implications that really gives an already good team more opportunity to attack.
Because everybody already feels that the offense gets all the breaks. You
Yeah.
can't hit the quarterback, defenseless receiver, illegal contact,
Correct.
all that other stuff, all those other things, and the defense still got to go out there and try to tackle all these guys playing at a high rate of speed. You're going to make some mistakes. I think because guess what? If the Chiefs go on to win the Super Bowl, everybody going to say, man, it's rigged.
It's rigged. That's the script. That's the script.
Absolutely. This isn't the first game they were saying they got all the calls. We've
Yeah.
been hearing that all season long. All right, we'll leave it there, guys. When we come back.
Hey there, Chiefs fan. Big week ahead, right? The AFC Championship is just around the corner, and it feels like the stakes couldn't be higher. Chiefs versus Bills. Battle of two powerhouse teams fighting for a chance to claim the Lamar Hunt Trophy. I don't know about you, but I've got my lucky Chiefs gear ready to go. How about you? Got any game day rituals? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Before we dive into today's breakdown, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button. Trust me, you don't want to jinx it. Last week we told you 1,000 likes would seal the deal against the Texans, and look what happened. Let's keep that energy going. Now here's a question to kick things off. On a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you feeling about this matchup against Buffalo? Let me know in the comments and stay tuned, because we're about to unpack everything you need to know for Sunday's game. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about what went down last week against the Texans. Sure, it was a convincing win. But if we're being honest, there's one major issue the Chiefs need to fix before Sunday. The wide receivers. 0 catches, 0 yards. On 4 targets combined from DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Hollywood Brown. That's just not going to cut it. Against a team like Buffalo, here's the thing you know as well as I do, that this offense can't lean solely on Travis Kelce every week. He had a monster game last time, but expecting him to carry the load again, not realistic. We need all hands on deck for this one, and it starts with unlocking the potential of our wideouts. Let me ask you this. Do you believe the Chiefs wide receivers will step up against the Bills? Type B if you believe, or D if you're doubtful. Be honest, I want to know how you're feeling about it. The good news, Patrick Mahomes and the coaching staff are aware of the issue. They're saying the right things, but now it's about turning those words into action. And if they can do that, things might look a lot different come Sunday. Ready to hear how? Let's keep going. Here's where things get exciting, my friend. The Chiefs may not have shown their best football yet, but there's reason to believe they're just one spark away from turning it on. And that could spell trouble for Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes himself said it. The team needs to find ways to get Hopkins, Juju, and Hollywood more involved. When these guys are on, this offense can be unstoppable. Think about it. DeAndre Hopkins has shown flashes of brilliance this season, especially in games against Tampa Bay and Las Vegas. Hollywood Brown, despite limited playing time, has proven he can be a reliable possession receiver and still has that game-breaking speed. And Juju, sure, he's not the same player he was a few years ago, but we've seen him step up in big moments. Remember his standout performance against the Saints? That's the kind of effort we need. Here's a question for you. Who do you think will have the bigger game on Sunday? Hopkins, Hollywood, or Juju? Type DH for Hopkins, MB for Hollywood, or JS for Juju in the comments. If even one of these guys goes off, it changes everything for this offense. But if two or all three show up, Buffalo better watch out. Let's break down the matchup next. Here's where things get exciting, my friend. The Chiefs may not have shown their best football yet, but there's reason to believe they're just one spark away from turning it on. And that could spell trouble for Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes himself said it. The team needs to find ways to get Hopkins, Juju, and Hollywood more involved. When these guys are on, this offense can be unstoppable. Think about it. DeAndre Hopkins has shown flashes of brilliance this season, especially in games against Tampa Bay and Las Vegas. Hollywood Brown, despite limited playing time, has proven he can be a reliable possession receiver and still has that game-breaking speed. And Juju, sure he's not the same player. He was a few years ago, but we've seen him step up in big moments. Remember his standout performance against the Saints. That's the kind of effort we need. Here's a question for you. Who do you think will have the bigger game on Sunday, Hopkins, Hollywood, or Juju? Type DH for Hopkins, MB for Hollywood, or JS for Juju. In the comments, if even one of these guys goes off, it changes everything for this offense. But if sure all three show up, Buffalo better watch out. Let's break down the matchup. Next, let's focus on the Bills, shall we? As good as Buffalo has been this season, they're not without their weaknesses. One area that stands out, their secondary. Against the Ravens last week, Buffalo allowed 254 passing yards. And here's the kicker, Lamar Jackson. While a phenomenal athlete, isn't exactly known as a top-tier passer. If Lamar can light them up like that, just imagine what Mahomes can do with his arsenal of weapons. Here's a stat for you. Not a single Buffalo defensive back had a Pro Football Focus coverage grade above 66.0 in that game. That's a huge red flag for their defense and a golden opportunity for the Chiefs. And let's not forget the Ravens' top receivers. Isaiah Likely and Rashad Bateman combined for over 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. If those guys can exploit Buffalo's secondary, Hopkins, Hollywood, and Juju should be licking their chops. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think the Chiefs will surpass 300 passing yards against Buffalo? Type Y4, yes or N for no in the comments. If Mahomes and his receivers can capitalize on this matchup, we're looking at a real shot to reclaim the Lamar Hunt Trophy. But there's one more key element to cover. Let's dive into it next. All right, Chiefs fan, here's the bottom line. Sunday's game isn't just another matchup. It's a defining moment. The Lamar Hunt Trophy is on the line, and the path to victory is clear. The Chiefs need their wideouts to step up, Mahomes to stay sharp, and the defense to hold strong. Against Buffalo's firepower, it's all about everyone doing their part. Here's a challenge for you. What's your confidence level heading into this game? Scale it for me from 1 to 10 in the comments, and while you're at it, don't forget to like this video. Let's keep the momentum rolling, just like last week. And one more thing, subscribe and join us for our live watch party on Sunday. We'll bring the energy, the analysis, and the camaraderie you need for the biggest game of the year. Chiefs, Kingdom, let's bring the noise. See you on game day.